The following is a true story. All characters and accounts coming from a man known as Coach Ron. You'll be introduced to a puppy dog and a famous quarterback whose lives will forever change with a riveting decision. Enjoy. Welcome in, listeners, to a little side session of Through the Rec Specs, a little 5-minute short. It's your host, Jared Smith, and we don't have all the guys here, but we do have one, Coach Ron. A lot of people have been asking for him, been wanting to hear a little X's and O's with Coach Ron, and here he is. How are you doing today, Coach?
Doing fine.
Doing good? We're wanting to back up and tell a little story, a story that's happened in our family.
Yes, sir.
And most of you know, Coach Ron is an avid NC State fan, red and white supporter from way back, and got a quarterback that's been playing very well, bringing the program up, right?
Yes, Russell Wilson.
One Russell Wilson. And go ahead and share the story you're wanting to let the listeners hear.
Well, about 2 years ago or so, my daughter surprised me with a grandpup. And when I got down to her house, she had him out back and brought him into the house. And she had a golden retriever. She had said that she wanted a golden retriever ever since she was small. But Coach Ron said, no, we don't have room for a golden retriever. So after she got married and moved away, she got the golden retriever. So this was now my grandpup, and his name was Wilson.
So they named him Wilson. Do you think they named him after Russell Wilson?
No, she did not know that much about Wilson, since both my daughter and son-in-law are big Carolina fans, North Carolina fans. And so she didn't know that name. I think she actually got it from the Castaways, a character that was in that movie.
It's a volleyball, huh?
I think that's true.
Wilson.
Yeah.
All right. So, they're big-time North Carolina fans. They come up for Christmas one year, and I guess you gave them a gift for Wilson? Or maybe from me and you?
Yes. I think it came on Christmas. We gave him a little scarf to go around the dog's neck.
Right. Something to show his name off and everything like that?
Right. Made up real nice for Wilson with a number on it.
What number was that?
You remember? I believe it was...
Happened to be number 16?
16.
And they asked, why would they do that? Why would you do that?
Well, we were actually making it for our guy back at NC State, Russell Wilson. That's his number.
Okay. So I guess they weren't big football supporters. They weren't really aware of that knowledge. They were just more of a basketball contingency.
Yeah, we didn't really give them the background on the scarf and the number, but we thought it was a pretty nice thing that Carolina fans now had a NC State number out there on their dog running around in the backyard.
And I'm sure they took many pictures of that, and it was kind of like an inside joke, right?
Yes, we kept it quiet for a good while before we told them the whole story.
So a lot of things happened between the dog Wilson and the quarterback Russell Wilson. Some things over the last few months.
Yes, the dog came in as a little puppy, was well received in the family, and as he got bigger, of course, he got much faster, and he started really performing the cuts and the moves that our boy Russell Wilson has on the field. And so there was a lot of comparisons there between Dog Wilson and our buddy Russell Wilson.
Right, and he was getting so fast and so strong, the fences couldn't hold him up anymore, huh?
That's the kind of good and sad part about it. Just like Russell Wilson had skills in baseball, and he'd share his time between baseball and football, and couldn't dedicate all of his time to one sport. And so it made it a difficult decision for our coach there and the team. But he was indeed a prime-time quarterback. And Wilson, of course, was a prime-time, the only dog on the block at that time. Since my daughter had no children at that time, he was getting a lot of attention.
Right, and I guess that came into, he didn't get that as much attention when the baby came, your grandson, right?
Yes, little Caleb, he came in July, and when he came along, then some of the focus on our golden retriever was taken away.
And with Russell Wilson away playing baseball, a lot of the NC State fans were excited with one Mike Glennon.
That's right. He's like the little Caleb back in my daughter's family. He's the one that started getting the attention, and rightfully so. He himself is a great grandson.
So, So it comes down to this. Russell gets released from NC State, and sadly, what happens to...
Well, sadly, the story is kind of similar to my daughter and son-in-law. Our son-in-law, like a coach, had a real love for Wilson, so did my daughter. And he was put in the backyard, but pretty soon, as he got so big, the backyard couldn't contain him. So my son-in-law had to take some measures to try to keep him within the backyard because he could go over the fence real easily with his athletic ability. So he had put a border around it with electric fence, and the electric fence was doing pretty good for a while, but Wilson was a smart dog, and he figured ways around that constraint there. Kind of similar to Wilson Russell, because he got out into pro baseball and got with the Colorado Rockies, and that really made it tough for the coach because he was escaping and getting away from the program where they needed him as the number one quarterback.
So Russell Wilson gets released from NC State scholarship, and what happens to Wilson with the family? That's what I'm trying to...
Okay, sad to say that Wilson had several, more than several, quite a few escapes, which brought about much trouble because Coach was away working, and my daughter had to go find Wilson in the neighborhood. And after this kept happening several times, they came to the dreadful decision that they was going to have to put Wilson up for adoption. So they found a real good program to get Wilson into a fine home.
And a farmland, right?
And farmland
where he can
run wild.
So that's Wilson the dog, and at the same time, Russell Wilson's making a decision.
Right. Russell has been in a good school at NC State, and Coach Ron felt like it'd be great just to have him stay there with the team for the last year. But he also decided to make a decision, which was to ask for a release, which broke Coach Ron's heart and many other Wolfpack fans. But in the big picture, we see him going out to a good family.
Yeah, the Wisconsin family, where he's going to thrive in their pro offensive set.
Right. He's going to have a big field to be playing on. He's going to have a big Big Ten teams watching him. And all the family's going to be still rooting for him, just as we are for Wilson, our dog. We're trusting he's in that big field now. He's ready to run and make those cuts and make people's heads turn as he goes up and down the field.
So greener pastures for all, one in the literal sense and one in the figurative sense, as Russell Wilson joins Wisconsin Badgers. We'll see him in the fall. He's still going to be donning that red and white, Coach Ron.
Oh, yes. And Mike Glennon, our boy, he's going to come in there just like Caleb. He's going to win our hearts over.
So do you think, Russell Wilson, he's going to have that W on his helmet. Stands for Wilson, right?
That's right. He'll have the red W right up there. And our guys in state, I feel like, are going to have a good year. So we're looking forward to seeing what Mike can do at at the head spot.
Well, Coach Ron, thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming on to Through the Rec Specs, and hopefully we'll be hearing from you soon.
Okay. Y'all take care and have a great fall.
And for you to make X's and O's happen with Coach Ron, get on Twitter, get on Gmail, hit us up at the Rec Specs at gmail.com. Ask for more Coach Ron. Might have to put some more segments in there for him. Now for Jared from Through the Rec Specs, saying have a good night, fellas.